I want to introduce you all to the magic that is Intarsia. Now, if you grew up or were knitting in the 80s, you may have some memories of it. It was often something that was used for big floral motifs or perhaps for kind of block colours, often with the fluffy yarn. What you're doing with Intarsia usually is it's worked flat. It can be worked in the round, but it's quite tricky and requires a few techniques. It is best designed used flat. You have blocks of colour. Sometimes they may be perhaps worked in the diagonal. To keep it simple as we're learning it, I'm keeping it as blocks like this so that you can practice your techniques, really get them right, and then you can go on to experiment with different ways of using Intarsia. Working my way along the first row of the colour chart here. So I have worked 10 stitches with this first light grey colour, and we're now moving into our purple colour. So what you want to do when you go to work is you want to take the existing colour you'd been working with over on top, that stays on top, then from underneath you pull the next new colour. Now you're going to knit with this, so obviously if you knit in the other hand, your yarns are going to be the way around. But regardless of which way they are around, you want to hold this stitch fairly snugly so it's not going to have a loose stitch here, and just give a little even tension, and then just begin knitting with this next one. Then you can drop that down. What that does is it will interlock the two in together. You see this little loop of the yarns you get behind here? This is what it's going to look like running down the sides here. So these interlocks are caused by looping those yarns around when you're changing from one colour to another. The reason you do that is because that will prevent you from getting a hole. Now purling along, and I have reached the end of this darker grey here, and it's about time to work this. So you want this to come down on top, and you lift this up from underneath. You can see I hold my yarn in my right hand, so I'm going to hold it here, but if I hold it in this hand, then I just hold it with this, and you can use your right hand then to secure this. Either way is going to work. You just want to make sure that you keep this stitch snug. Keep this one snug here, but this might be easier actually afterwards. I'll just hold it on like this, and then just give it a little gentle snug up as I go along. So I'll do the same thing when I reach the end here, and I'm going to then continue on with those 3 colours until I've got 6 rows worked. At that point, we're introducing a couple of new colours. So I'll show you some ways that you can introduce the colour here to try and minimise the gap that you get. We have reached this point here where you've completed this dark purple. So that means that I can actually just go ahead and snip that yarn off. Let me find the tail end of it here. I'm going to give it a few inches, usually 5-6 inches, so that I can easily weave it in afterwards. And we'll be introducing this lighter blue here and the pink over here. So I've written in here again, there's first 9 stitches in that, and then the rest of it, so the other 9 is going to be in that. So for this one here, when you want to join the new colour and you want to still try and loop it in with the last one, bring this up under. What I'll try to do is I'll usually for the first stitch hold the tail in here to mimic the fact that it would be looped up from underneath the other colour. So loop that up and knit into it. And then what I generally like to do at that point is weave my 2 tails in for a few stitches, so the old and the new. So these 2 here, I'll generally, as I start working the next few stitches, the first one, I lift them up and over as I knit it. And so when you knit it, that drops down and it's not shown, it's just behind here. Next one, you're going to keep it down. So you can see those floats are getting trapped in there. Next one after that, you lift it up and over. So lift it up as you're knitting it. Kind of as you do knit it, it just gets to drop down and under. And then the next one gets down over there. And that's enough. There's just going to be about 4 where it just weaves it in and out, and it'll make it a lot easier to kind of hold on to the tail and avoid getting too big a hole here. When we began, first of all, I was just showing you if you were using the balls what you'd use. And now I want to begin introducing some of the bobbins. So in your pack, you're going to have a few of these. And what you can do with them is to just create little bobbins with individual colors twisted around it. And you can probably see with this, the benefits of it is, let me undo this. If you've got too much yarn and you don't want it hanging around and you want to keep it nice and tidy, you can wrap it up, you can trap it in there so that when you carry this up, the bobbin just hangs behind, so it's much, much tidier. So the kind of places you're going to want those are anywhere you've just got an individual block of color, and it'll, it works really well. The only spot I'm inclined to actually leave the entire yarn active is here, because you're going for full rows and there's no other color interacting with it.